Yeah, so we are now looking at the media environment and information space. So some stakeholders highlighted a small number of increasingly professional independent media outlets that are informing voters, analyzing political parties' manifestos, and fact-checking statements. So, however, a majority noted that the media landscape is highly polarized, which means most of the media outlets are owned by political parties, and therefore most of the media outlets they churn out information that favors the other political party. That's the party that they are affiliated with. So stakeholders asserted that these partisan outlets are contributing to the dissemination of hate speech, inflammatory language, and misinformation. What's your take on this assertion?
Thank you very much. The media is a very important part of democracy. And if the media must be respected, they must do a professional work by churning out or by giving accurate information, devoid of personal opinions and emotions. The Electoral Commission normally gives certified information about the results or the outcome of elections on daily basis. And I also, at this point, to also say that the EC must also make sure that they up their game, they are they put the right measures in place so that when the time comes for elections, the right information is given out. And we've had situations in the past where information was given out, it has to be withdrawn, another information given again. So the EC must also make sure that they are up to task. Now, for the media, uh, I think we should not just wait for election time for anybody at all to be selected as a media person. People who are interested in reportage of electoral process must be trained, must be given in-service training, they must be ready for the task ahead and be sure that the information they are giving, they are making history. It's part of history because in future that information can be referred to. So what do we have if that information was not accurate? How do we correct it? So how do we decipher the right one from the wrong one? So the information the media should be given should be information that is very close to 100%, if not 100%, in terms of accuracy. The time to put the media in order is now. We shouldn't wait for election time to get closer. So the 2020 is a big lesson for us. A lot of journalists or up and coming journalists who are interested, um, they were willing, they were zealous, they were excited, but excitement must go with professionalism, must know what we are telling the public is either going to solidify the process or creates problem because information is very important. People act on information. All the other countries that have had challenges as a result of um, elections, uh, the media play a role because they were giving the information. If, as you said in your question, because they are affiliated to a political party,
Yeah.
when the information comes, they are likely, uh, I say, he who pays the piper determines the tune. So they are likely to be influenced by that. So the information, once it is coming from their side, and the information, it becomes like information war. They want to have advantage. They give the information out quickly so that people say, these people are having 70%, these people are having 30%.
Yeah.
Then they keep on changing it, they keep on changing it. And that information in Ghana, for instance, we depend on the Electoral Commission
Yeah.
to have the information. So the information must have a source. And whenever they are giving information, I think one of the biggest lessons we've learned from the past 2020 election is that source of the information must be very clear.
Yeah.
Because if it is your estimation, you state it that this is an estimation, this is an estimate based on what you've seen, you've heard so far because of your correspondence on the field. you are thinking, you are estimating that. But if you make an absolute statement that it is 40%, it's 30%, you are not the electoral commission. So we must all respect our space and know what we're supposed to do. And the media, we cannot take them out of the system. They are very important, but they must do their work in a way that will promote transparency and assure the electorate that what they have done or the voting process is being reported accurately so that we can have confidence in the information that we get from the media.
Moving on to the representation of the marginalized population. Yeah.
Yeah.
While Ghana's democratic achievements have been commendable, the country has failed to live up to global standard concerning the representation and inclusion of marginalized population in our political process. So where the marginalized population represents women, youth, and persons with disabilities. So they continue to face barriers to their meaningful participation in elections as guaranteed in the 1992 Constitution, while many political stakeholders pointed to one-off events, policies, or individuals as examples of notable progress for these groups. Minimal effort have been made to address their persistent systematic barriers to have resulted in the poor representation and participation of the marginalized group. So your thoughts on the assertions made and also ways you think can be implemented to improve their representation in our electoral process.
Okay. According to the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, uh, the minimum age is 18 years to qualify as a voter. And so, when we say children, it means anybody below that age is not a part of the electoral system. So we are talking of women, the youths, those who are above 18 or from 18 and above, and then people with physical challenges. Okay, um, anybody who is defined as eligible voter, it is a duty on the electoral system to make sure that they are included. And that inclusion must be a systematic and a conscious process that has been put in place early so that by the time we are getting to the election time, even the system is tested to see how feasible will it be for these people to take part in the process, because not just part of the population should vote on behalf of everybody who are willing. Those who are ready and willing should be given a chance. So marginalized people, as we put them, they must not be people who um, are sidelined. They must be people that we put in the necessary effort to make sure that they also take part in the elections. Because if we exclude them or we don't do anything about the barriers that prevent them from taking part fully in the elections, when we are calling them to be citizens to contribute to the development of the country, we will feel that, okay, it is only when it comes to this that they are remembered, but the process that will lead to the election of the leaders of the country, they were not considered. So it should be a deliberate policy or step ahead of time. So okay, we are going to elections. These people, the able or people who don't have those challenges, we know that the majority of them, all things being equal, will take part in the process. But these people, they need special care, they need special attention, and we must not just leave it to chance that the system will correct itself. No, we must actually take action and to make sure that these people are involved. Physically challenged people, what do we do? We have, when you go to some places, even those who sit in wheelchair, there's no, the buildings are not physical challenge friendly. You see, so all these things must be taken to. How long does it take? And I know it's a process, but if you know that okay, this is a big electoral area or voting center, and we know that for people to get access to the EC official, they have to pass through this. We must factor this in and then make some provisions for that, even if it's a temporary provision, just for that process that day. Okay, if it's something has to be done to facilitate their movement, especially these physically challenged people. And for women, I think they need to be encouraged. And another factor that also makes it difficult for some women to take part is fear. If the electoral process, we are sending signal that there's going to be something, there's going to be mayhem, there's going to be attack, then some women will withdraw. They want to be safe. So the whole process must be inclusive from the beginning. Everybody must own the process. So it should not be party matter, partisan issue. Every time it is parties, no. The electoral system must mobilize everybody. The partisan side is political party that are always encouraging their people to come, but people must vote as Ghanaians.
Yeah.
And so when we are voting as Ghanaians, the partisan side is secondary. You are voting for Ghana's democracy, and before you are a member of a political party. So that duty is to Ghana first before your party. And so if it's for Ghana, so that one, there's nothing like disabled, marginalized. No, Ghanaians. We don't identify people by their physical abilities. So once you are Ghanaian, you are Ghanaian. You qualify, you qualify. So every process must be made. The general one is there that everybody must go through to vote. But if it has peculiar cases, you must give attention to those ones too, so that everybody must feel that yes, they are part of the system. Already, some people have their own personal reasons why they don't even want to take part. So those people, we need to encourage them by going the extra mile for them to feel that yes, really, the system is thinking about them. Then they can be more active, and it will contribute to more people taking part in the process. Thank you.
Okay, so in the build up to the 2024 election, what is Wacps, West Africa Center for Peace Studies, doing in terms of reducing the gap between the marginalized community and the others? So what is Wacps doing?
Okay. Yes, we want to whip up interest, enthusiasm, and so in the previous elections, we've been going to communities, going to um, groups, different groups, um, faith-based organizations, FBOs, CBOs, community-based organizations, to explain the process to them from a neutral point of view that democracy is not for political parties alone, it's for Ghanaians, it's for the citizens. So they should be aware, and it might not be perfect. Democracy is not perfect. We are practicing, we are evolving, we are improving election by election. So, despite the challenges, that is the option that we have accepted as a country we are working on. So, people should not despair, should not lose hope, and then opt out. And they will opt out. What are we going for? So, our duty at West Africa Center for Peace Study is to mobilize people, encourage them to be ready, to be citizens who are not sitting aloof or on the fence and only see the bad side of issues and say, oh, the democracy is, there are so many challenges with it. Yes, we cannot run away from that and say we have gotten to the perfect point. There are challenges, but by going with it, we'll be solving the challenges as we move forward.
Yes, sir.
And everybody must come on board and then bring ideas. And so for us, we are encouraging people, we are doing advocacy, we are doing peace campaigns, we talk to people to encourage them that they must be active in the process. And so we hope and we believe that through this, even 2024 elections, if we all play our rules well, all the stakeholders, the voters, the electoral commission, the parties, and all the NGOs and everybody involved in the process, then we will see better participation and better results.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And also, with this our first election without any vigilante groups.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. So there is some sense of relief in that country
yes.
that the elections will